Dance.
The month is still in the realm of spontaneity.
Beautiful class.
Oh, thanks.
I really loved your film, Power Elite.
You've seen it.
That scene with the dogs around the garbage. How did you stage that?
Those dogs were just there, and I said, hey, shoot those dogs.
Beautiful.
Why do you suddenly want to hang out with a couple of 25-year-olds?
We were just 25. I mean, we weren't, but, you know.
We're the boring couple with a baby. What have you guys been doing?
We met this interesting couple.
You came!
He's a young documentarian, and she makes ice cream.
How old are they?
25, 26.
26, 27.
They're children.
Yeah, 9 years ago, they couldn't vote.
I love his shoes. I have some wingtips here somewhere. I stopped wearing them when I got shin splints.
What kind of class is this again?
Hip-hop.
And true gangsters don't speak.
There's something about being around them that energizes you.
You have arthritis in your knee.
Arthritis? Arthritis?
Yes, I usually just say it once.
I remember when this song was just considered bad. But it's working.
Hello, I'm Carruthers.
And I'm Rhian Holmes.
And Rhian's in this Baumbachathon. Started getting angrier on it. I think it needs an anger to it. Baumbachathon.
Bacchanal. Back.
We're Bacchanal. Rhian said, without knowing the rest of the movies she'd be watching, that sometimes she struggles with the unlikable characters of Baumbach movies. And I said, well, there is kind of like a halfway point where everybody becomes likable. I would say for better or for worse. I think it's just a different part of his career. One of those movies, perhaps the most likable of his movies, because there is another world where the character of Jamie is the Baumbachian lead, and but no, this movie is a little bit more straightforward, not simplistic, a little bit more straightforward, and we hence come to learn of Jamie's foibles through more likable middle-aged foibles. That is a bizarre way for me to get around and introduce the wonderful film While We're Young. Rhian, did you enjoy, as I probably like, the over-under bet would be very high, but did you enjoy While We're Young?
I really enjoyed While We're Young. Yeah, I know what you mean, like having it kind of through the lens of a little bit more of a neutral, boring protagonist that like the audience can kind of latch on to a little bit easier. I thought it was like a great simple concept, like great setup, like the characters are, you know, simple, you can get behind them. And I don't know, I think maybe because it was more of an ensemble piece, it felt a little bit more cohesive than some of his other ones. But yeah, I just think like, yeah.
Without losing a lot of also the darkness and complexity, he just can't help himself but make it about a grander thesis on documentarianism and you know.
But this is kind of like what I enjoyed so much about it was, yeah, like he always tries to find that intellectual edge and like say something really important. But even it's very meta in that even in that moment it gets flipped on his head. And he has this great, you know, monologue about everything, and then no one fucking cares. Like which is brilliant. Like the whole you know, reveal and it turning into this like horror almost of like, oh my God, this guy's a total fraud. And then the immediate subvert, like you have the like huge swelling music and everything. It's like, I'm gonna fucking expose you. To have it immediately subverted. Yeah, I think it's okay. Like it just that completely hit the nail on the head of like what Baumbach was trying to do with this thing of like you want to feel so valued and important when you like, especially as you grow older, and some people are just never going to get it, and you have to be true to your own convictions because some people are just never going to get you.
Just never care. Even your wife, and eventually she comes around. Um, I've never really two things I want to pick up. I love 90s thrillers. You know how much I love 90s thrillers, whether they be erotic or just the simple, roommate from hell, single white female, or Pacific Heights, the roommate from the other the tenant from hell, or unlawful entry, the cop from hell. And I've never the way that you said thriller and horror, it's never clicked to me that this is in many ways the setup to a 90s thriller. And it gets to the point where I've come for your wife. And he's trying to ingratiate his way into that marriage, and then maybe Darby's in it as well, and they're both trying to steal their marriage and their life and all that stuff. And then obviously it's not that, but it does work for a while on that same formula. Another word that you said, and I said it as well, and I want to interrogate it slightly. We both called this a simple movie. Now, is there, to quote slang of the children, it as is apt for this film, is that simple non-derogatory or simple derogatory?
I never intended it to be derogatory. I think, yeah, just the concept of here's this older couple who are still very much happy together, but are maybe a little bit set in their ways. They don't really know how to mark this chapter of their lives because everybody else has, kids and everything. Meeting this fresh-faced, gorgeous young couple and being absolutely beguiled with them and their way of life. And yeah, I think it's something that you can immediately get on board with. Adam and Amanda are chef's kiss. Well, we'll get into that at length.
I remember I was going through a Baumbach period, and then it was family movie night. And this was safe enough for me to put in front of a family. Not that like not that the other movies are volatile or something, but like, I can just imagine us watching. I would never like Margot at the Wedding or Greenberg. I would never even dare. Like just, oh yeah, let's watch this, and then, oh right. Oh, great, yeah, yeah. So she's a bitch as well. So all the family hate her. Oh, she's getting on the bus. All right. There's no wedding.
No
Um,
ending?
yeah, there's no ending. And whereas While We're Young is quite um derivative, simplistic, and formulaic in a good way that works. And there is a world where he makes nothing but these movies, and I love him as the next Nora Ephron or the next, James L. Brooks, or the really great writer of modern, intelligent, simplistic comedies, which he is not in so many ways and has diverted so many ways. And again, we'll get to White Noise. White Noise hangs over this entire thing as a sort of end cap of the great swing. That I think works. While We're Young, I've always had this thing in my craw that I knew was true, and I have never done the research of this. This has always felt like Greta Gerwig was supposed to be Darby. Not that I don't love Amanda Seyfried, which we'll get into intensely, but I was right. Greta Gerwig was cast but dropped out due to quote unquote scheduling conflicts. Now, I don't know whether that was the first child, and I don't know whether that was Lady Bird, but it was something around that era. No, can't be Lady Bird. Sorry, must have been the baby. Oh, whatever it was. Anyway,
Well, it would have been 20, like 14, 15.
yeah.
No, who knows?
Anyway, yeah.
Track back to see how old the child is, really.
Because Get Out and Lady Bird Oscar race, I believe, is 2018, isn't it? 2019, before COVID. Yeah. Right. So they were cast. Devil's advocate, we both love Amanda Seyfried, both of us in different ways, but we both agree. Do you think there is a slight element of Amanda doing a Greta, or the script being so written in Greta's voice that it can't help but feel that way?
I think the latter, but I also think that because there were moments of in other places, me going, oh, this is so Baumbachian in its style. And some actors have really tried to like be very naturalistic with it, and you can tell
Mm.
that like they haven't really worked with this kind of voice before. Specifically, um, gosh,
The
what's
couple,
the friend's name? Yeah, Marina.
possibly.
Great, great actress, like
Jamie and Fletcher.
Marina and Fletcher.
Marina and Fletcher.
Yeah. Great actress, but yeah, it was just odd to me like how she managed to kind of like interpret it. But then you
Yeah,
also had Fletcher being very clipped and
very Baumbachian.
back.
But I also think you've got a little bit of that with Naomi Watts. I don't think Naomi
Yeah,
Watts gives a, I don't agree with people who say that, all of his characters are one note and hateful and all that sort of things. But she is full of light. I dare say doesn't have any complexities. Like she's just a very straightforward. I mean, there are moments when they touch on the pregnancy angle, but there is no, and I guess she kisses Jamie, but it's not like there is another version of this movie where she fucks Jamie and then it's like I don't know what I was doing here, and it gets
she
deeper and darker and more adult and more realistic, quote unquote.
she definitely feels like the companion, but I think that's also her gripe. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, if I had a change, I would say I would want a little bit more from her.
which Devil's Advocate, Kate Blanchett was allegedly also cast but dropped out, which love Kate,
I
love
could see
Naomi.
that.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could see, but is there an element where, not that Kate isn't willing to do smaller roles in things, but where it's a little bit of an underdeveloped part? I don't even think it's
How do you mean?
underdeveloped. I don't even think it's underdeveloped. I just think there's not like, what is that? There's nothing really
She
meaty, I
she
guess.
serves his storyline. That's the long and short of it. But again, that is the
Mm,
character's gripe. Like that she just feels like an extension of him and his
mm.
work. And she has that great line where he's like, they ask so many questions. She's like, didn't ask me any questions. Like, she feels like an extension of him. And so she sees, again, I think her relationship to Jamie and Darby is she sees this incredible couple that are both really interesting in their own right. And of course, the reveal is then that he's stealing everything from her. She just feels like, again, an extension of him, the thing to make him more palatable to other
Yeah,
people. And so,
the fly
you
paper.
know, I guess what annoys me about that is that she doesn't get to make that realization because it's all Josh finding out
Yeah,
and like, oh yeah, I'm not going to let you do this to Cordelia. Cornelia? Cornelia.
really.
So yeah, I think I would agree with your initial um observation that it does feel like an undeveloped part.
Another final sliding doors casting. Somebody else was cast in the role of Jamie, but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts with the movie. No, should I tell you that? Who? Somebody who's famous for being an
Okay.
artistic twit.
Hmm.
Not that I agree. He's also now infamous for certain other matters.
Ooh, it's not like Shia LaBeouf, is it?
You're on that. You're on a good. It's James Franco was cast in the role.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I can see that.
I
I
can
can really
too.
see
I can
that.
too. For his sins, he would be very good in the role, I think. However, nobody is going to ever beat our beloved Adam.
Oh boy.
Rhian, you're in the single dating world and are coming across a lot of somewhat enticing men, but also like awful people. How many Jamies do you meet on a daily basis?
Oh my God, it's astronomical. Actually, someone uh invited me to go see Megalopolis
Oh my gosh.
on Hinge. It was like, when are we seeing Megalopolis then? And I just thought, wow, it's got Adam Driver in it.
I think there is a don't watch Megalopolis. You don't like when people's 3.5 hour passion projects are good and important works of film about the Native American experience. So and you hate that. So you're not going to enjoy. You're not going to enjoy. You're never going to get away from film Twitter has come back. Film Twitter, everybody's pro flower movement. Not everybody. You're not going to enjoy Megalopolis. Don't watch Megalopolis. It's not worth it for In the Club. In the Club is the only good part. Anyway, back to Adam. Um, yeah, is excellent.
Yeah. Like it's just that insufferableness, but 100% like faith in himself, and like he plays it so earnestly. Like at no point is he like over egging kind of the arseholery.
No, I think you believe up until a certain point that it's all genuine.
Yes, and then you also believe that he believes that he's still doing something important, even when you're like, you're a total douche.
He he called me back. Uh, wait, you called him? Yeah, I called him and then he called me back. Did I say that? I thought I said that. The
It'll be
only
beautiful.
yeah, the only moment is when he's recording at Leslie's memorial service, and when he's got the little camera. He's like, "Are you freaking filming?" That's the only moment where it
Your
stretches
sleeve
into
is on fire.
where it stretches
That
into
made me
actual
laugh out
ability.
loud.
It's a brilliant movie. Title card from Henrik Ibsen's The Bastard Builder. The adaptation that starred Wallace Shawn, who we all know from Marriage Story, Oscar winner, sucking my guy. The love scene. You don't have a love scene. Um, the funny thing is that I've become so disturbed by younger people. What? Younger people? Yes, they upset me so much that I've sort of closed my doors here and locked myself in because I'm afraid they're going to come here and they're going to knock on the door and then they're going to break in. Well, I think maybe you should open the door and let them in. Open the door? Yes, so that they can just gently and quietly come inside and it can be something good for you. Open the door. Very funny. Very good. And a nice setting of the pace.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, the wonderful. Even in even in his more palatable, audience-friendly movies, he can't get away from quoting Henrik Ibsen's The Master Builder to start the entire movie. Best 10-minute stretch. Meeting Darby and Jamie and the original and him going to the recording, sorry, the presentation. What you would have been seeing is the seal hunting from Nanook of the North. Nanook of the North was famously staged. Just yeah, there you go. Just to get that in there for you. It's very, very funny. I, as much as I love Nanook of the North, I prefer. There's a great documentary now of Nanook of the North. Piltuk, or what's it called? Tillipuk. Anyway, very, 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 very funny. Anyway, yeah, and meeting them, and again, it all seems feasible, and then they go for the pizza, and then we have that, and then they just, Polaroid instead of a business card or anything like that. There's only 5 rolls of film left of this Sfuzuto film. You did the thing, and then they just ride away into the darkness. Go, what was that? The ayahuasca ceremony, I voted for Romney and throwing up. Watch the carpet. And then I was like, I know that voice. Did you realize who it was?
No.
Lower the board, Pablo.
Oh, of course it is.
New Zealand. I was like,
Lower the board, Pablo.
why is there always a
Always a
flirty grip?
flirty grip.
Watch the carpet. I was like, what? Who is that voice? I know that voice.
The mind pal. This is Catherine O'Hara.
This
as
is
the
Catherine O'Hara,
woman
point
in
2.
China Hat.
And now that you've edited it, it is I am right, aren't I?
Sure.
She's married
Yes.
to Bo Welch. Anyway, reveal a friend in the Psycho one, the wonderful Brady Corbet, the original reveal. And they're gonna. Oh wait, it's just. Oh yeah, and then that into the diner and reshooting, finding the info on Afghanistan. It's the same guy. Holy shit! Look at this. It's the same guy. And again, he's so humorously, obviously, but just so resistant to the the staging and the fakery of it all. Also, that's Brady Corbet, who, by the time of recording, will have won Best Director for The Brutalist, most likely. So that's the 3.5 hour architecture white man movie that you're gonna either pretend to like or just die on the hill of being alone on.
Great.
We'll get there. um, the reveal of the truth, as you say, the wonderful Paul McCartney song 985, which I've had in sublime rotation since I was a child, but this just solidified it. And then Leslie's quote unquote memorial. Are those my blades? And you know what my favorite moments are? Are you okay, son? Do you want to sit down? I love Charles Grodin. Were you a Beethoven child?
A bit like the composer?
The dog.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, what else would you know Charles Grodin from? I'm guessing you haven't seen the original Elaine May movie, The Heartbreak Kid. Um, and you haven't seen. Anyway, we don't need to do. I mean, what about uh, what's it called? What's it called? Not Martin. Clifford. Have you seen Clifford with Martin Short, where he plays a little boy?
The dog?
No. Oh, no, yeah. That could be the singer, the dog. I'll back you. And then the hedge fund guy. Kent wasn't in Afghanistan. No, he was in Afghanistan. Best supporting
It's
actor.
I've never seen a film do it more like effectively of getting us to be 100% on board with the oh my God, he's a fraud. I'm gonna like, this is the end. Like, I'm gonna bring him down. And then immediately, like, you realize in real time with Ben Stiller, like, oh, it actually doesn't like have that much weight at all.
It's like they're probably about 2 drafts away from them cutting the Facebook thing entirely. And Leslie's already said out like, to be frank, it's the least interesting part. No, and you can see a little flicker in Jamie's eye. Oh, okay, and like, okay, that might get cut. This movie isn't worth the RAM it's stored on.
Rare, it's true.
Any other nominations for 10 minute stretch? Rhian?
I also had the ayahuasca ceremony. Just great stuff. Shaman's kind of a douche. Um, and well, yeah, the digging up the dirt on Jamie, going back to Poughkeepsie,
Yeah.
meeting Kent as a clown.
Hey, fuck
Yeah,
off.
Kent.
Yeah, that's sorry. What's going on there? Because that's the house they go to and find him last time.
Mm.
Does he host clown things out of his own back garden?
I thought it would have been like a family friend or like a relative
And the
that
relative
they
was and the relative was in on.
like a nephew or something.
Okay. But why do
Makes
they
sense.
go to that woman as the address?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a bit weird actually.
Yeah. Um, any other nominations?
That's it.
Here we go. The wonderful realm of weirdly specific parts, which the Baumbachathon series was made for.
Yeah.
Got infected by staph, not the bad staph. We can go back and forth on these because I always plow through.
Jamie's stupid hat, just the opening shot of him like sat in the bleachers, absolutely shrouded.
Yeah. I read it to her in the womb. I read to her Stephen King's The Tommyknockers. probably going to be me. Tommyknockers isn't even good, but I've listened to the audiobook twice. It's not even a good one.
Tommy Knockers.
Oh yes,
Josh drinking out of the toothbrush holder.
yeah. Ben covering his eyes for nighttime reading. Let's do this now. My mother and father are famously a couple who my
They're
mum
famously a couple.
reads, famously married. My mum reads and my dad doesn't. And then it has varied in my life between the women I'm with about who reads and who doesn't. And it's like long term, and all the sex drains away and all that's left is a cold book. What if they don't read?
Book.
What if they don't read?
Yeah.
There's a wonderful moment in terms of endearment where they're unpacking all of their things, and she says, "Can you imagine if we found somebody who doesn't read?" I mean, that's the least of their worries.
I guess, well, you can have your own opinions on like people who don't read.
No, this isn't
Just like
about
everybody
people who
else.
don't. People who
No, but
don't.
I think it's more the gentle intimacy of like doing different things in the same space and like feeling like you're together, but you're not like you don't have to be constantly entertaining each other.
I had an ex who liked me to read to her, and that same woman also enjoyed napping whilst I worked. And I was like, oh, I think
Love that.
she was like, oh, can I nap? And I was like, oh yeah, actually, I think we've got about half an hour. And I might grab a few minutes. No, 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 no. I want you to be working. And can you do more of your writing? It was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely.
It is very cool. And then it is very, you look over and she's late. Anyway, where were we? Oh, maybe the moment of the movie. Old woman walking past him at the seminar. Sorry. What? What was that? What?
Yeah, just weird.
So brilliantly delivered. You?
Um, Josh getting hit by the ball
Yeah.
in the street
What the
beach and like,
fuck?
what the fuck? I love you. Oh, like immediately
Okay.
folding because he's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Again, Baumbach has a big thing about people not paying bills. And you know what? I agree, because it's in this movie as well as Squid and the Whale. Let me get it. Oh, thanks. Thanks. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not even looking up or like not doing the whole like thing from your 40s where you're like, no, no, like you're that
Yeah.
little silly cat and mouse back and forth. Just like, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Richard Donner under his breath when the Yaz Googled who directed the Goonies. Richard Donner directed the Goonies. Sorry, your next one.
When he goes again a Googling one, he goes to Google the marzipan thing. He's like, no, let's try and remember it. No, let's just not know
Yeah.
it. And they're like, you guys are so weird.
That was like in my dad still quotes this movie. He doesn't know Noah Baumbach is, but he still loves that He will bring up,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Let's try and remember like that movie. He will still say this, and this is 5 years
Oh.
later.
It's literally there is a Facebook meme that does the rounds every few months where it's like it's a comic strip and it's a group of people and it's like the 60s versus now. And it's like they're talking about Barbara Streisand and they're like, how old is she now? Oh, she must be getting on a bit. Who was she married to, that bloke? Oh, I loved her and
Josh
this is
Brolin.
his.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I know. And then the other picture is how old is Barbara Streisand now? They all whip out their phones and Google it, and then the conversation dies. And it's like,
yeah, but it's like
I
that
mean,
fucking.
yeah, I guess.
Did you see that ad for like 10 years ago? And it was like the guy and the woman walking down the street. I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone. And then they weren't on their phone and they bump in. But then there's another reality where they bump. I'm not on my phone. Oh, hi. Where he just harasses a woman on the street. And then they get married and have children and die like, oh. So it's, and I was like, that is not the message you need to be sending. Anyway, other moments from that dinner, which are great. Since when did you guys do two things in one night? And which we are getting to that stage. There was
Yeah.
about Halloween. And there was the conversation of, oh, well, we're watching a movie, and then we could go out. Well, if we do that, then we're going
I'll,
out
I'll,
later.
I'll be like in movie mode, and then I'll just want to go home and take a nap.
Yeah, whereas we could just go out instead of the movie. No, I want to watch anyway. And but more importantly, do you guys want to come to a street beach with us? I don't understand what you're saying.
I just love I think a Baumbachian thing that I really enjoy is when people parrot other people and you can
Ooh,
tell that they have no confidence in what they're saying because it's not come from them. I think I've seen that in every one of his
yeah.
films and it always works. No matter how big the gap between the original person saying it and then the next person. It's so good.
Um, Again, thank you for your films. When he's meeting Leslie for the first time, he's like, oh,
Mm.
awful man. Oh, sorry. Well, oh yeah, we're doing an ayahuasca ceremony, blah 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 blah. Well, we're just doing a cookout and maybe playing charades.
It's great.
Do you not have any more?
Um, I've got camera two. I don't know what her name is. Like she just kind of appears in the back of the car when they go to the
Oh,
party.
she's called like Tipper. She's called Tipper after
Oh,
Tipper
the
Gore.
roommate. Yes, the roommate. Um,
Why isn't
her
she in more
operating,
things?
yeah, I guess. Her operating camera two as they go up to the
Oh yeah,
porch. She's just
none of
running around.
none of that footage is going to be usable. That is,
No.
she is a bad, bad, bad camera person.
Also
Um,
walking behind
yeah,
Jamie in the shot. Incredible.
um, that's my bucket. I'm puking out your shit.
There is a world in which that is Merritt Weaver, by the way, I feel.
I thought the exact, I thought the
Yeah.
exact same thing. Um, is that the shaman's Vespa? Um, Maybe the moment of the film is him doing the first interview. Do you remember the poem? I do. Life is unmanaged or whatever he says, and then zoom. What's wrong with the camera? What's wrong with the camera? And he's just hiding that little zoom remote
So
control.
good. That, yeah,
Sensational.
that is like, yeah, that's the money shot.
Um, I'm a whore for old jokes. You know, there's no way we're cut straight to them sitting at the party. Um, I the Tiger. I remember when the song was just considered bad. Um,
That's so true though. Like,
yeah. No. You now know what a Criterion disc is because you bought me Thelma and Louise. And did you notice the fake Leslie Breitbart Criterion Blu-rays?
oh no.
No, they're very, very good. That is like pure Easter egg for physical. Anyway, the you want to cut the interview with Tilly Coverschmidt's great great niece? Uh,
That is you, like, when we're trying to cut anything that you've made. It's like, oh, that's funny.
no,
It's
I
great.
was very, very good with the editing of Yes Out. I took all but all of your notes.
All but all.
Um,
Oh. You also told me it was going to be an hour and a half.
Things grow. What would we cut? Well, yes, but
You'd shave everything.
yeah, could have done easily. Leslie staring at a bowl of Oreos. Um, Darby and Ben in a gay bar when he's still got his hat on and his coat because he clearly doesn't trust the coat check. And he's like, I was dancing with, where were you? I was dancing with Darby after I was gay bar. Where were you? Do you have any more? Sorry, I'm rolling through again.
I just had the Josh, your sleeve is on fire.
Yeah. Oh my God, blow it up. I can't do that on this machine. The rollerblades on the and of course we haven't talked about his assistant editor. Well, no, it's his full editor, who of course makes a wonderful appearance again in Marriage Story, as a member of the acting troupe. I heard they divorced. You know, rollerblades on the subway again. He looked so cool to start with, and then suddenly, I I think we discussed this on Greenberg. Do you like Ben Stiller?
I like him more in this.
Really? You're not a Ben Stiller guy?
Not not massively. Like I wouldn't be drawn to a film because it had him in it. Do you know what I mean? But
Any
I've never seen him do a bad job.
any animal with breasts can be milked. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Um, I mean, an all time. And then zoom in on Ben with 19. What? Zoom in on Ben with 19. After the rollers on this. Oh, sorry. The zoom in on when he arrives at the memorial, and there's just like one heart, like slow zoom in, and then we have the soft organ from 1985.
Oh, yes. Like that is like the pinnacle of the thriller, like the swelling and then him from across the room turning around like Joshy.
Does she? Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just drop that fact in now. Baumbach shot that. His inspiration for that was Moriarty and Sherlock.
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly how it felt.
yeah,
No, no.
and
Also, just the fact that he's left the function at like the most important time for
yeah,
Leslie.
I'm going to trap you. Um, Nobody will see. Everybody will be watching the speech. um, any other weirdly specific favorite notes?
No, that was all mine.
It's very, very good. Little ones that we can hit on before we take our first break. Best specific Halloween costume, hipster fedoras in general.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca whites, or Naomi Watts
They
in a
were
sheer.
very white.
They were very white. Hey. And Naomi Watts in a sheer black dress. I did a Naomi Watts double bill because me and Jay watched on the big screen at the Prince Charles Cinema the wonderful Mulholland Drive. So it was a wonderful Naomi Watts weekend for Tom. What's your Naomi Watts experience?
Very limited, to be honest. I had to Google because I recognized her, but I couldn't place her face.
You're a Tom Holland fan, so you've obviously watched The Impossible.
That's the tsunami one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was she in that?
She's the mother.
It's been a while. It has been a while.
It's all that mud. All that mud.
Could recognize it. Well, it's funny that you said that Kate Blanchett was the original pick because she feels I know this is gonna be blasphemous to you, but it felt very interchangeable in my mind of like, oh, she's a Kate Blanchett type.
Okay. As somebody who rewatched Blue Jasmine last week, oh, by the way, Jazz and Ace watched Blue Jasmine. So you all need to, they back down on the Woody train. So it's about time. It's coming into the
I
station.
have no doubt that they would. They've got no principles.
I still firmly believe that Woody Allen is a bad man, and Killers of the Flower Moon was a shameless waste of everybody's time. What else was I going to say? Rhian didn't actually believe that she thought it was time just too long.
Mulholland Drive features in a Chapel Roan song.
Oh God, what's the line?
Let's make it cinematic, like that one sex scene in Mulholland Drive.
That one's oh, Rhian, you're gonna love this story. I had to shush people. Me and Jay are sat in the Prince Charles Cinema, just two dudes watching a beautiful, sensual, lesbian love scene on the big screen in the middle of this sensational masterpiece, maybe the greatest film of the 21st century, genuinely. Second to There Will Be Blood or Tide or whatever. And the three guys in front are like, didn't expect this to be part, you know. And then I go, excuse me, can you please be quiet? During Naomi Watts grasping Laura Herring's breasts on the big screen, and it's this beauty.
Excuse me, can you please be quiet? I'm close.
The two times I've told people to be quiet are that and the two children sat next to me in watching Justice League the weekend after Jenny broke. Yeah, I've said Jenny's name before.
Didn't you have like noisy kids at Wonka? It was something.
It was Justice League because they were like, Batman said something like, I need to give you something. And one of them was like, oh yeah, I'd give her something. Like Gal Gadot. They were like, oh yeah, I'd give her something. I was like, can you please be quiet? And we're back. Um,
Back.
Best single minute. You can start.
The initial dinner, just great
Mm.
show of like juxtaposition between the two couples and like the beginnings of this like enamorment of wow, they're so different and they love us, which is like that kind of electricity that comes with like meeting new friends.
I'm meeting anybody, and it could, it's so easy to just get into routines and that sort of things, and then all of a sudden, whether it's romantic or friendship or platonic or at any moment where somebody meets you and is like, oh, they're cool, they're funny, they're sexy, whatever.
Yeah.
Any sort of flagellation, you're like, oh, and the surprise of it as well, it's like, oh, I didn't expect this today. Wonderful. Um, the first edit of the documentary, Ira getting a call, honey, this happens every fucking day. And again, a sort of joke that you'd find in Zoolander.
Mm.
Why can't we cut to the other stuff? Well, because you look like this, and the different hairstylings is like just the most, Three Stooges slapstick joke, and he's smelling the milk. What is this documentary?
No idea.
I'll save it for Tom's big single question or whatever. Um, sorry, next
Um,
single minute.
the initial montage of like the old versus the new, where like they're all on their phones and then like the kids have got their vinyls. I mean, it's a little bit like
I
corny.
I put it in change. I thought it was a little. I think it's a little bit too cute. I think it's just a
Yeah.
little bit like I not needed. If it was I could see it possibly as a credits montage to just get us into the film, but I don't know what it is. It's just always not rubbed me the wrong way, but it's just like,
Yeah. I mean, the thing
yeah,
is,
we get it.
in the Baumbach canon, that would never be a montage. That would just be like a series of throwaway lines, which they also do have.
It's
Of
just
like,
it's just there, and I get it, and it's
why does
cute.
everybody get out their phones when everyone thinks they're doing the most important thing right now?
I don't
Sorry,
know if
just
that's
had
the
the
line. Yeah.
idea. The casting of Fletcher, I think would be a good Jeremy Strong.
As Roy Cohn.
Yeah.
Um, the wonderful Jeremy Strong. Where are we? Oh yeah. Who's the most famous person in your mobile phone? Robert Downey Sr. And then again, I like Robert Downey Sr. and he has his father's eyes. I haven't touched with the Rosemary's Baby about it with anybody before. Um,
It's so like it's so intrinsically like you're in your 20s and you think that this is absolutely revolutionary.
mm. And yeah, like Darby remembering seeing Rosemary's Baby once, and it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, Rosemary, and then like Ben's probably watched it like once. I keep calling him Ben. What's his name?
Josh,
Josh.
Dashi.
Joshi. Like has watched it like once a decade, and like probably like watched it on VHS and then watched it on DVD. Maybe has gone to a revival screening. They're hip people who live in New York, and it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. Yeah, Rosemary's always cool. Yeah, but again, it's like, oh yeah, he has his father's eyes, and I get, but also I get it. I die. I'm terrible for if I finally meet somebody who knows a film and that sort of thing. I mean, when
Of course you relate to the man who awkwardly quotes everything.
I know, but it's like nobody. And then when you finally meet somebody who quotes back, it either goes two ways for me. Either I quote a deep quote, the wonderful SNL sketch. You've never deep quoted before? Yeah, deep quote. How do you have time to watch all these movies? I lost my job 6 months ago. Very good. Anyway, what are we going to do? The wonderful Daniel Craig, who also you hate. Anyway, um, hedge fund guy, maybe the funniest single minute in the entire film.
He absolutely like blew everyone else out of the water with
Best
that.
supporting actor, straight in. Have you seen Mad? Yeah.
Everything he says is a gag machine. Like
Have you seen Mad Men? Okay, so now we know exactly
it's
who
apple
this guy
juice.
is.
Yeah. Have you
Not
seen
really.
Mad Men? Made me chuckle.
Um, maybe a
It's
good way
apple
to
juice.
start.
No.
Maybe a good way to start is by asking you a question. They were all right when I got there. I'm two in already. and then,
It's
and
like
then,
who let this guy in?
um, do you know the percentage of African Americans in jail? Like 60%?
16. What the fuck? No. Which is
Jesus,
so
no.
good,
So this is like in prison, like a black Shawshank.
but real.
We've got over 100 hours of footage. The amazing intellectualist Peter.
A
The
film is
movie's a
100
hundred
hours.
hours. Oh, very, very, very good. And then the screaming at the screaming, the screaming, the screening at Jamie's apartment, and that sort of soft reveal of everybody's there.
And just
And
the, oh yeah, nice to meet you. And the
yeah,
absolute horror on Ben Stiller's face.
we're going to Afghanistan. We're going to Afghanistan. And then Naomi again, not a lot more like visual and not artistic, but a lot more visual and surrealist, I guess you'd say. Naomi coming from behind with the smoke and that sort of like in the soundtrack, and she's out of focus, and then she comes into focus, and it's you're smoking. This is like a bad dream. Everybody's doing weird shit. Any other nominations for best income?
Maybe you might think this is too cute too, but
Oh,
the hats and hip hop montage.
no, that works for me. That works,
Although
and they.
crazy for Darby to bring her old friend to a class and immediately know all the choreo.
I've got that in an actual change. That it's a very funny gag, but there's no way that you dive straight in on what are they paying for at this class? You already know
Yeah.
the choreography. Anyway, it's funny though, given when she stumbles and that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think that one's too cute. That one feels natural to me, and it's led by the characters, and they're changing, and they're getting their sex life back. You know, the hats, and everybody's having a great time, and oh, everybody's doing hats and
Yeah,
dancing,
you
hip
needed
hop.
something that was like twee and
I
you
don't even
know,
think that's twee. I think that's just like a fun,
yeah.
some
I
something
think I
tells
think I
me
wrote
I'm.
down the old versus new montage like well obviously because it's chronological, but then I was like, oh no, this is a better one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um. Oh, any others?
The mental hospital, that initial thing of like, holy shit, like he's struck gold.
Yeah.
And I think even without the Afghanistan like element, I think it was still like I don't know, like I think it was still like the moment where he's like, oh, he's actually found something of substance here.
That
Like,
slow crawl and the music. The wonderful James Murphy did another score for this, and it's only used selectively in some parts. But like, where is best director winner Brady Corbet of The Brutalist? And no reaction from well, no, a reaction from the mother or his niece or aunt or whatever. Not his niece. It's just a grown woman. But and then we just cut to that hallway, and just the score comes in, and they're shooting the hallway, and you can see slowly but surely on Josh's face. I think this room is on a tilt.
a
I don't know what it is, but
Dutch
this
tilt.
chair is giving me more hell in this room. This is what I'm blaming my productivity on, because every time it like leans. Anyway. Um,
Falling backwards.
rewatch the podcast we've shot in this room, and I look like a goddamn. I've got severe ADHD. I'm just constantly moving. Um, put them on like 2.5 speed, and you'll just see me going.
I'm gonna get you brakes for your wheels.
Why have you never been poison ivy for Halloween? Maybe it's your current hair and the leaves behind you. Is that too basic? Is that too basic? Being slutty
Also,
and
just I'm
wearing
not a big
green.
superhero girl.
No, true. You much prefer the reaping.
Yes, this year's Halloween costume. Well, it's a two-prong costume. One of them is quite basic. We're doing a group Alice in Wonderland thing, and then the other one is
You're
um
going to two things, and I'm invited to neither.
no, because you would have hated the other thing.
What's the other thing?
It's a Charlie XCX club night.
I like
At the place I tried to take you to after the screening, and you were like, "Is it any good? Do they play actual music?"
A, do they play actual music? B, I'd already walked 40 minutes and gotten a 20-minute tube for us to get to a place, order one Singapore sling, which wasn't made correctly, put into a plastic glass. I was sent outside into the smoking area, and then they told us, okay, guys, it's yeah, closing up now. Thank you. Move on. And then you were like, oh, let's go to this next place. And I said, how far away is it? And you said, I
No,
don't
no,
really
no.
know.
That was you getting the timeline wrong. Anyway, not important. My actual Halloween costume, which I don't have plans to wear it yet, is young President Snow.
Does this mean you're going to dye your hair blonde?
No, I'm just gonna get a wig.
Okay.
Well, then donate.
What was I going to say about Halloween? I'm watching movies all day and I don't know what to wear because I'm going to be alone. So I either rock up to, have I got my Jack Torrance outfit still in the attic? Maybe I messaged my mum. I think we got rid of those items. Anyway, that was a
Did you
good
ever do
outfit. I
did you
did,
ever do Patrick Bateman?
yeah, I did Patrick Bateman because I had nothing else to wear. So I had a suit and I had a Mac. So I did do
Yeah.
Patrick Bateman once. I'm not going to go to the Prince Charles Cinema alone wearing a full suit and a Mac in a sold out screening of Nosferatu and boil myself to death whilst the beautiful live cello score is played. Anyway, I love Halloween. Shame about where my life is. What about a lady? And she just like, oh, what should we do? Oh, I booked in some movies all day. What if there's a person at the first screening? And I'm like, oh, she's pretty. I'll never see her again. And she's at the next screening,
Wow.
and then she's at the third screening, and then I
And it
ignore.
turns out she just works at the cinema.
Yeah, I met this woman. By chance, she was at all of my movies. She sold me popcorn every time. No,
She's
no,
been
no.
dead for 40 years.
um. Oh God. Soundtrack corner. Uh.
Hang on, I had more single minutes.
All right.
Huge tangent.
Sorry, swag. No,
Oh,
Patrick
actually, do you know
Swag.
what? Never
Sorry, I'm
mind.
blending. Why don't we go as challenges instead?
I would have to be Mike Feist.
I
You
would
could
be.
be
I would be.
Patrick Swag.
I am Patrick
We
Swag.
don't have a Zendaya. I don't have any black friends.
I
No.
don't want to make Jazz's race the only thing about her. She's a wonderful woman, but not only is she a light-skinned mixed race woman, but also, more importantly, she looks exactly like
He
Zendaya.
loves tennis.
No, she
If
looks.
you want to do it, I'll do it.
Okay. What? Do it where?
Um,
We don't. Anyway. Okay. All right.
it's also October and cold. Anyway, the
Yeah.
pitch
So
meeting, yeah, and the reveal as well. We've actually already touched on them.
you
Soundtrack
said it.
corner.
Soundtrack corner. Opening up with that, I've used this as a quiz round before. They're called Rockabye Baby, and they're like a band, and they do rockabye versions of songs, rockabye, lullaby versions of songs, and I've done that as a quiz round of what's this song, and so
Oh,
that
that's good.
ding 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 ding, the wonderful version of Golden Years that then of course they play properly at the end.
Yeah,
Again, I mentioned it at the end of Francis R. Back to back Bowie bangers.
great use for it. That's the one I had.
Um, and then love theme from Blade Runner on an iPod. Maybe don't flirt with the shaman. Just like just that sort of high culture, low culture that we're talking about of one of the best movie scores ever made is now on an iPod in a corner being used for an ayahuasca ceremony and like used for its ethereality and yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like, well, it touches on that thing that Jamie says, isn't it? Like, if I like something, it's mine now.
yeah.
And it's like, you have no control over how a piece of media is used and like what it serves.
Yeah.
And you can be a snob about it, or you can just kind of let it happen.
I mean, like, yeah, yeah, Yeah. Talking about Vangelis again, like the Chariots of Fire score is so famous and infamous now and just overused and parody, and every single person's dun 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 dun. But when you actually listen to that score again whilst watching the film Chariots of Fire, you're like, oh no, this is actually sensational. But
Yeah.
same within this case, there's the removal, the removal, the removal, the removal, the removal into an ayahuasca ceremony. 1985, my favorite track. Let me roll it. My second favorite track on Band on the Run. Huge Paul McCartney fan.
Nice.
Did you add that to your Spotify playlists? What a great song. Were you not like, what is this song? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I already knew it.
Did you?
No.
You actually did kind of know it subconsciously because I used it in the opening for the trial of Ian Don Leo.
Oh, maybe I did listen to it then.
Yeah. Best line. You can start.
How did you stage that? They were just there. I said, shoot those dogs, and we did. Beautiful.
This is just like my record collection, except it's CDs.
They asked questions. Didn't ask me any questions.
I need a new desk. You should come with me to the lumber yard. You can make one.
So good. I don't think I'm afraid to die. I think I'm pathologically happy.
You have arthritis in your knee. Arthritis? I usually say it once.
But traditional arthritis. I don't know what you mean by traditional arthritis. This is arthritis.
It wouldn't make sense for me to send you emails now. We're in the same room all the time.
Oh, it's kind of sweet,
It is.
It's like he saw a sincere person once and he's been imitating one ever since.
Yeah, I mean, that is the core of the film. And that leads into the final line of the film, which again is said with a little bit too much of a wink, possibly by Ben Stiller. He's not evil. He's just young, which is a good just capper. Again, perhaps overly simplistic. Like that is not the sort of button capper we normally get on a Baumbach movie, but we get it here.
Also, he is evil as well. Not all
He's
young people
awful.
are soul suckers.
Life has other plans. Life is what happens when you're making other plans. Again,
Who is this guy?
this is where he's because it's like that moment is the shifting point. That moment is no, John Lennon's mine. You're all misquoting John Lennon. And then from that point on, I know it's not that simple. It's obviously the whole thing, but that is the moment where he quote unquote becomes a typical old man. And he's like, no, John Lennon is life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And then it just goes from there and there and there. Any other lines?
Well, yeah, because it's the first time as well that his contribution is not valued at all in the space.
Yeah.
Like he comes on board as the cameraman, like by his own volition because he doesn't want to co-direct.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
oh, it's just great. No, I want to give him to you. I got a great war guy, Ira Mendelstein. Do you know the philosopher and historian Ira Mendelstein? Yes, I do. You do? No. Again, hedge fund guy. Bang. Any others?
I'm fucking exposing your shit, motherfucker.
I put that in Tom's big question. Is Sabrina Carpenter a Huawei young Baumback fan? Because he goes, I'm exposing your shit, motherfucker. He says it very close.
And then just the lovely button of maybe we are different people. That's great. They could have ended it with that, to be honest.
And maybe they should have. No.
No, I like the whole they're adopting a child cutaway. But
are we in What's the Change?
Sure.
I don't like the child playing on the phone. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? What are we doing?
A bit like, oh.
That is like too cute to the max.
Yeah.
It's not just a child watching something on a phone. The child then starts
making a call.
I was like, what on earth is going on, Noah? You have never you have never done something this stupid, genuinely, in your entire career.
It is too cute.
VHS sucks. Maybe you're doing a spooky Halloween party and you're watching a load of horror Halloween VHSs in the corner of the room. That's cool. But actually sitting and choosing to watch The Howling, again, people are different. I've
But
had
also,
this.
it's the height of like pretension.
This is the thing. I've kind of, maybe I'm not like, I've had this a little bit with the Prince Charles. I love the Prince Charles and I love going there and watching movies. But sometimes I watch things on film and I'm like, actually, I would much prefer to watch the 4K digital. Like I had
Yeah,
not at, not
Exorcist
at,
was great, but like they had all that white shit on the screen.
um and yeah, there is a moment like, and then I went to the BFI, not to pit two wonderful cinema houses against each other, and one's government funded and one's
Mm.
independent. But then I watched Eraserhead and the Elephant Man at the BFI, and they were presenting the 4K digital, and I was like, anybody else think? Anybody else really like the? Anyway, um, Tipper and Jamie's band Cookie Opus. What the fuck? That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. That is like beyond annoying.
It's
But
so annoying, but it's meant to be.
I know, but it's like also what is that? Just an actual song? They
I
do,
think
or is
it's
it?
I feel like it's probably a reference to something, but again, we are watching through the perspective of the oldies who
Yeah.
are like, I don't know what's happening.
And again,
I'm now getting to the point in my kind of, I say offlineness. I'm not offline. I'm just chronically online. But there's certain things, because I've not been on TikTok for so long, there's certain things that people will start saying, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, and I don't care to know. I'm getting to the age where I'm not understanding memes, and it is a gift.
you're becoming Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it.
Is
uh, do you want the I can
she in
teach?
your list of problematic faves, Lucille Bluth?
Lucille Bluth is not problematic. Yes, she is. Go watch a Star Wars. I'll have the Ike and Tina tuna platter. Um, I could do that. Two great moments. Mine, Lucille Bluth is the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, she is Mount Rushmore. It's her, Annie Wilkes. No, no, no. Lucille is on the different Mount Rushmore of broads. Great,
Broad.
great broads, which is Elaine Stritch, Patty, Lucille Bluth. Oh, it's a tough one. Um, the Great Broad Mount Rushmore. I will never forget when Jessica Walter died. Have I told you this story?
No.
Jessica Walter dies. This is at Christopher Court. I walk in from rehearsal and like everybody's in
Oh,
yeah.
yes. And Lauren
Lo-
says, someone's died, and I think it's going to be important to you. That is exactly what the girls did to me yesterday.
yeah,
At point of filming, Liam Payne has just tragically passed.
just yeah.
And they took me by the hands and said, it's not someone, like, it's not one of your big ones,
Mm.
but it is gonna hurt.
That could have become a bigger game. It's not one of the big ones, but it's one. Do you get it yet? I don't think this is the tone for what you should be doing. No, she said the exact phrase was, some old lady actress has died, and it's probably something that's going to make you upset. And then I was like, okay, who? And she was like, Jessica Wal. And I went, Jessica Walters died. And, oh God, I love Lucille. Um, oh, what a great. Do I do a full Arrested Development rewatch? That is one of the shows that me and my sister will agree on. There are very few shows, but those first three series of Arrested Development are just gold. What's the change? Oh, that's what I've. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else. You?
Um, who doesn't know the Three Little Pigs? Like, I know it was meant to be they're getting out of touch with like, kid related things, but like, it's not a hard story.
I no, I to be honest, this actually happened to me with was it Red Riding Hood or was it? I think it might have been the Three Little Pigs. Genuinely, I had to do a theatre for young audiences seminar. Sorry, what's it called? Period of the year in school. semester, and seminar. And hello, I'm Thomas John Carruthers, and this is how to teach the children.
This is the Three Little Pigs.
And I think we had not the exact same way that they struggle, but it's like, does the pig get eaten once they blows the house down? Once, like, how do they stop the wolf? Like,
No, they run into the houses as they go.
but I think it varies depending on how much you want your child to be a little bitch. Like, the wolf can either
Well, we know
eat
how you're gonna tell it.
oh yeah,
They were savaged,
and the
eaten.
wolf ate the child, and they learned the importance of home security. Um, but and then no, and then I struggled with Little Red Riding Hood. I can't remember, but then I'm also thinking of Into the Woods, of like the grandma cutting and the grandma cutting out. And anyway, any other changes?
The tit grab, not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, but it's so
I literally had to
early.
go back. Like, did he actually just do that?
Yeah, but it's also so early that it's like and Naomi Watts. I'll just call them Naomi Watts. Naomi Watts's reaction is like, oh, yeah, I guess that's cute. I guess that's so. It's not like so deep in that people react as if that's what you
Yeah,
did.
it's like, oh, maybe this is something people do.
That could be a cute thing people do,
I don't like it. I don't care for it.
not in public.
Weird. Just weird.
Any other changes?
No.
Very good. A few fun facts. I only have one really. Amanda Seyfried. We need to talk more about Amanda Seyfried.
International treasure.
Yeah. Greece, America.
The UK. France.
Yes, letters. She did write those letters to Juliet. Where did she write the letters to Juliet?
I was thinking Les Mis, but
Oh, what has she done in England?
well, she's just loved by us. She's got to have done something British, surely.
But I don't know. Where is she? Where is my? Oh, she did the Dropouts and Mank. She should have won Best Supporting Actress of Mank.
Yeah.
Don't say yeah. You never watched Mank.
Well, you wanted me to say no?
I wanted you to say, didn't see it. Amanda Seyfried remarked that at the age of 28, when she filmed the role, she actually found it a challenge to play Darby and that she related more to the older characters.
Ah.
Us.
Everyone thinks they're old, though. I turned 24 in a week, and I feel so
Your
existential.
birthday's in a week.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me? Why does nobody tell me things?
Because I thought you'd know after 4 years of
I
friendship.
don't know. That is the one thing I don't know. You know I don't know birthdays. When's your birthday?
It's on Thursday.
It's on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dogging in High Wycombe. Why don't you don't come to karaoke for your birthday? When are you doing a birthday thing? Why?
I'm actually not doing a birthday thing.
You're not doing anything.
But no, I'm going to a gig.
What's the gig?
Lizzie McAlpine.
Oh, yeah?
Get all my Lizzie fans. Down in the comments.
Mm. Can't believe she's still performing after a Disney Channel show got cancelled.
A Disney Channel
It was a
show.
Lizzie McGuire joke. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Fine. Sounds like fun. Do I need to buy you a birthday? Did you buy me a birthday present? I can't remember. Yes, you did. You bought me lots of birthday presents. God.
Shit. You can combine it with Christmas if you like. Well, no,
Yeah.
you already had something in mind for Christmas, so swap it out and then.
Well, currently you've got 40 for Christmas. So do you want to do 20 and 20 or do you want to do 40 and 40? You choose.
Well, you could do 40 and then just give me like a hug for Christmas.
You can have one of your gifts premature. You can decide. No, I'll just give you the book. Anyway,
Okay.
oh, why?
While we're young.
This is my. I hate that people. Right, we need to demonetize or democratize or depoliticize birthdays. I'm terrible with birthdays. It's the one thing I can't do.
I'm incredible with birthdays and I do hold it against everyone that I meet.
Just remembering birthdays.
Oh no, you're great at like gifts and thoughtfulness.
I know. Ugh. Right,
And
okay.
knowing that it's on a time crunch will be even more special to me.
It's not that time crunch. I'm going into, and then I need to watch two Twilight Zones. The stress, the life. To be Thomas Joe Carruthers. Amanda Seyfried. 30 seconds. Huge crush. Amanda Seyfried's absolutely gorgeous. Ever since I was a small child, Mamma Mia, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the most attractive woman ever. And then me and my ex, I won't specify which one, loved Mamma Mia. You can just listen to the Mamma Mia podcast and put two or two together. And she tried on a new swimsuit, and we jokingly did "Lay All Your Love on Me" until it got to a point of like, oh no, this is actually maybe the sexiest scene anybody made in the film. And then obviously it went where it went. Amanda Seyfried is wonderful. She was astounding in Mank. She should have won Best Supporting Actress. I love Amanda Seyfried dearly. Bring her to. Is she married? She's been married.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Probably.
Someone would snap that up.
It's probably one of the investor brothers or whatever.
I think if I were to be with a woman, it'd be Amanda Seyfried.
I never knew this was your type.
I don't have a type.
I don't have a type either, but everybody loves to say I have a type. And yes, the type that people say I
It's
have
leggy
is
blonde.
Amanda Seyfried. That's beside the point. I dated that little ginger woman. I always bring that up, and it feels like I'm proving a point. It's like that entire relationship, if you can call it that, was just to break a streak.
Just to break the cycle.
Tagline rundown. Life never gets old.
Mm.
Yeah. Tom's big question. It's not really a big question. I just didn't know where to put it. Peter Yarrow's first role of Peter, Paul, and Mary is Ira Mendelstein. It's just I like Peter, Paul. Anyway, Puff the Magic Dragon. No, let's try and remember it. My dad's love of that. We've already mentioned that. When did The Goonies become a good movie? Yeah, I agree. Goonies sucks. Maybe I didn't watch it as a child. If I'd have watched it as I had that is one of those. Do you have this where like you watch children's movies now as an adult that weren't your big children's movie, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, like there's a lot that they don't have like the nostalgia filter
Yeah.
on, so you just kind of take it more at face value. And everyone's always like, you have to watch this. If someone says you have to watch this, and it's like an animated show from
Killers of the Flower Moon.
2000. Well, people keep telling me to watch Hoodwinked. You told me to watch Hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked, I think, could be good. I'm willing to. Is that a triple bill? So you want to do Shark Tale, Hoodwinked?
Oh God, what's another one I love?
Over the Hedge?
I do like Over the Hedge.
Of course you do.
Maybe the best score of any. Oh, Chicken Little, duh. Are you ready to rock? That is great. Chicken Little is great, and I do watch it as an adult often.
So you want to postpone the very exciting 10-movie Barbara Streisand-a-thon that I'm reading multiple books in preparation for Shark Tale.
Uh-huh. I think she'd approve.
The Streisand-a-thon was a meeting in the middle. We both like Barbara. You said Barbara. Didn't you say Barbara?
I know, it was my idea.
Yeah.
But it's one. What if we just do Shark Tale?
Maybe. Hey, Fox. Foxy
Audio
Fox.
listeners, he's raising his eyebrows at me.
Hey, Fox. Foxy Fox. They're like grown-up Francis and Sophie. And maybe it's just because she's blonde, and maybe it's just because she literally looks like a grown-up Sophie with the glasses.
Yeah. That's cute.
10 seconds. They're both wonderful actresses in their own right. Greta or Amanda as Darby. Go. 10, 9, 8.
I'm going to go for controversial. I'm going to go for Amanda.
I'm going to go for Amanda as well. I think the stuff like once she leaves Jamie and the stuff with Ben at the bar of like, you don't even realize.
Yeah, because I think she has an allure.
Oh yeah. Big time.
That I'm sure Greta could do, but I don't know. I feel like we'd be more inclined to be like, oh, he's meant to be with Greta, rather than being like,
Oh, you think that you would if Greta was in this movie? See, that I don't think that's realistic,
she'd
Rhian.
be she'd
For
be too she'd be too quirky, and you'd go, oh, she's meant to be the love interest all
yeah.
along.
See, I don't know. I just don't think that's believable to have a movie where where a 48-year old creative leaves his middle-aged wife for Greta Gerwig. I just don't
Yeah,
think that would make
weird.
sense. Just wouldn't work.
Won't
Um,
work.
and is Ben's movie awful? So it's 3 hours long. It's got a section on Turkish politics. It's got multiple interviews with this guy named Ira Mendelstein. The ending is a montage of money being printed into a cemetery. Then
And the music.
the
I
music at
I
the
will say,
end.
as much as I defended the choice to have the dance at the end of Francis Ha be like semi good
Mm,
rather than awful. I as much as I defended that, I do think there is something brilliant about following an artist and like their struggle and everything, and then it being actually really bad.
do we need more of a inkling that the dog movie was actually good? And that now he's just like
Well,
stuck in a rut on the third movie. Because I don't like the idea that all of the promise of Josh when he was a younger filmmaker was also shit. I want to imagine that
yeah,
Street
I mean,
Legal or whatever that movie was called, Street Smarts or whatever it's called.
Leslie Leslie is presented as a very trustworthy character. Like he's someone of high renown. And
We've only got 2 minutes left, but the late great Charles Grodin, I know you haven't seen any of it, but the wonderful Charles Grodin, so touching and sweet, and then also so acerbic in so many great movies. The Heartbreak Kid, I'd highly recommend. Um, the wonderful Clifford, obviously, Midnight Run again, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful actor.
but yeah, well, I think he is the proof that we get of Josh's promise and his talent is Leslie
Mm.
being such a trustworthy character of like, you were really good. Your first film was great. You've kind of fallen off. You've lost the heart. You've lost the vision.
Yeah.
And so I don't know necessarily if we need to see any proof of that early work. Because also I think it's just I think it's probably easier for a writer when they're making a fake piece of media to make it purposely bad.
Yeah, Rhian doing a drive-by on documentary filmmaking. Two little cameos.
Love documentary filmmaking, but for Noah Baumbach, probably easier to do a like a bad one of it
I
than a
guess, yeah,
good.
yeah.
Because it's also hard to watch like a 30-second clip of something out of context and be like, that's amazing. It's
Yeah. Rhian's Wi-Fi has gone down, and there is only a minute left on this episode. It seems that this is where we will end our wonderful recording on While We're Young, as we stare into the void and possibly marry her and see what she says, but probably not. Thank you very much, and good night.
Da ba da ba da ba da da.